Welcome to the 5th part from Demon Slayer anime fan fiction. You can find the previous parts in my channel. The name of this part is The Beginning. Nezuko sat in front of the house where she had been staying for a while, gazing at the sky under the intense midday sun. Summer was in full swing, and the heat was so oppressive that even the shade of the tall, lush trees around her couldn't completely lessen its intensity. The leaves swayed gently in the warm breeze, and the distant chirping of birds filled the air. The faint scent of fresh wood and dry earth lingered, bringing a soothing calm to the atmosphere. For the first time since her entrance exam to become a demon slayer, she was awaiting her Nichiren sword. Excitement and a strange anxiety coursed through her, making her tap her feet nervously and take short, deep breaths. Inside the house, Makomo was preparing tea for the guest who was to bring the sword. Nezuko could hear her soft, deliberate footsteps as she moved with a kind of grace that infused the house with an air of peace and patience. As time passed, Nezuko grew increasingly restless. The gentle sound of the wind rustling through the leaves couldn't quiet her busy thoughts. Worries about her first mission and curiosity about the color her sword might take consumed her mind. After about 2 hours, the sound of approaching footsteps pulled her out of her thoughts. A man wearing a mask that concealed his face came closer to the house. Nezuko immediately stood up and rushed inside to inform Makomo. Moments later, the three of them were gathered together. Haganazuka, the swordsmith, carefully drew out a sword crafted with incredible precision from its case and placed it on the table. The warm summer air seemed almost insignificant compared to the energy radiating from the blade. With trembling hands, Nezuko picked up the sword and then slowly unsheathed it. As the sunlight hit the blade, it revealed a deep purple hue, a rare color that exuded a sense of unique power. Makomo smiled gently and said, "That's fascinating. I've never seen anyone with a purple sword before." Haganazuka shrugged indifferently and replied, "It's not the color I wanted. Why should you keep it?" Nezuko, still staring at the blade, allowed a small smile to form on her lips. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new path, a journey filled with unknowns and fresh challenges. Nezuko was lost in her thoughts when the Kasugai crow quickly entered the house. It landed in front of Nezuko, and with a voice loud like a scream, delivered an order. "Kamado Nezuko, listen to the instructions. Head southwest to a village near Mount Hakone, close to the settlement. Join Hashibira Inosuke. Assist Hashibira Inosuke in his mission to kill the demon that is devouring the villagers passing through." As soon as Nezuko heard the name, Hashibira Inosuke, she felt a special kind of joy. Seeing her old friends from her past life gave her a happiness that made it impossible for her to stop smiling. Ignoring Nezuko's reaction, the Kasugai crow continued, "Kamado Nezuko, get ready, because this will be your first mission as a demon slayer." About half an hour had passed since Haganazuka-san and the Kasugai crow had left. Nezuko, who had been preparing to leave, put on the Demon Slayer Corps uniform that the Kakushi had brought her a few days ago. The only thing she was waiting for was her sword. She had asked Makomo-san to make a box so she could carry Tanjiro with her wherever she went. Makomo-san understood well that Nezuko wouldn't go anywhere without Tanjiro. 10 minutes later, she was fully prepared and determined to go. She said goodbye to Makomo-san and headed towards the destination that the Kasugai crow had mentioned. As the sun was about to set, Nezuko encountered another person on the road, dressed in the Demon Slayer Corps uniform. From afar, she thought it might be Inosuke and felt happy. She started running a bit faster and closed the distance between them. As she got closer, she realized that it was the same boy from the entrance exam. She was disappointed. She really wanted to see Inosuke again. But this boy was another fellow Demon Slayer. Having someone to talk to on the way wasn't a bad thing. "Hello, are you here for a mission too?" Nezuko asked, with a kind tone and a smile on her face. The boy didn't react, as if he didn't care about Nezuko at all, but still quickly answered, "Do you think I'm here for something else?" Nezuko, not expecting this answer, was a little shocked, but then smiled again. "It's good. I'm Nezuko Kamado. We didn't get to introduce ourselves during the entrance exam." The boy responded coldly and without any interest. "I'm Kaigaku." Wanting to keep the conversation going, Nezuko asked a simple question. "Nice to meet you. Have you seen Hashibira Inosuke?" Kaigaku answered in the same indifferent tone. "No." Nezuko, expecting this answer, continued with a childish curiosity. "I haven't either, but this mission is actually for him. They just sent us as companions." Kaigaku, slightly surprised, paused for a moment, then returned to his usual tone. "That's normal." Nezuko, curious about his response, asked, "How so?" Kaigaku replied seriously, still indifferent. "The number of demons has decreased since the lower-ranked Kizuki disbanded, but they've become stronger. There's almost no demon without the demon blood art." Nezuko, a bit surprised, said, "But in the entrance exam?" Kaigaku quickly responded, "They've been around for a long time. Over time, the power they gained from eating humans has diminished." Nezuko, still confused, asked, "So?" Kaigaku, with no choice but to explain, said, "It's rare for a demon slayer to take on a solo mission. At least there are two people, especially the newcomers who are usually subordinates of their seniors for a long time." Nezuko, not knowing anything about this, said, "I didn't know." "Are you really bringing that demon in the box with you?" Kaigaku asked for the first time, with a question directed at Nezuko. Nezuko, completely surprised, answered seriously, "Yes, I am." Kaigaku, now with a warning tone, continued, "You should have given it to a Kikuchi to take it up the mountain. If it stays with you here, it could cause trouble." Nezuko, with a slightly confused expression, asked, "Wait, a mountain? What does a mountain have to do with this?" Kaigaku replied, "Demon slayers capture demons they think aren't too strong and imprison them on Mount Fujikasane for the Demon Slayer exam. The demon you're carrying doesn't seem too strong either, but still, it's a demon. It could cause trouble." Nezuko, with a feeling of sadness, wanted to explain, but she didn't know how. How could she tell Kaigaku that this was her brother, and that Tanjiro would never harm humans? Would he believe that? In a soft voice, Nezuko said, "Well, how should I say this? It's a long story." Kaigaku, without any change in his attitude, replied, "What story?" Nezuko, more distressed, explained, "The story of this demon I'm carrying." Kaigaku, with a tired look, said, "You don't need to know the story. You just need to take it to Mount Fujikasane. Not now, though. I think Inosuke, the Kasugai Crow's messenger, is with him. Just attach a glycine to the box, and the demon won't come out. Then tomorrow morning, take it towards Mount Fujikasane." Nezuko, her expression slightly troubled, said, "No, wait. This is my brother. His name is Tanjiro. The sun had now completely set, and Nezuko saw a small village in the distance that looked very much like a town. At that moment, a familiar voice called out from behind. The voice, sharp and determined, asked, "Your brother is a demon, and you're carrying him with you. Let me ask you another way. Do you want that demon to die or not?" Nezuko, recognizing the familiar voice, turned around in surprise. As she had suspected, it was Inosuke's voice. Kaigaku looked at Inosuke and said, "Hashibira Inosuke, right?" Inosuke, with a mischievous grin, replied, "That's right. Now, answer my question, Nezuko Kamado. Do you want that demon to die or not?" Nezuko, now furious, shouted, "What kind of question is that? Of course not. He's my brother, and he's never harmed anyone." Inosuke, with a serious and contemptuous tone, said, "Demon, demon. Anyone who protects demons is a fool. I've been listening to your conversation, and it seems I've caught the traitor."